Howdy folks, it's Jason here from Battle Knights, and it's time for another entry into my painting diary. So, what have I been working on this last week? This is week 13, I believe, and we're in the middle of April. I think I've messed up somewhere along the line with my unorganized schedule. That I've missed out a week somewhere, like overlapped it or something. I don't know, but so we might not have X amount of weeks in this diary entry, but it'll be fine. Anyway, so let's get into this. What you're looking at here is a unit I've painted for my Halfling Undead and a Sorcerer model. So these are obviously from TT Combat. This is the Sorcerer model, and it's quite a fun little model to paint. You notice there's nothing on the book at the moment. I've still got to add some pentagrams or something that I want to add to the book. But yeah, overall, I was quite happy with that. I put him on a little resin base, give him a little bit of height and make him stand out a bit. And yeah, I painted one of these for the actual website as well, but this is for myself. So I've done him, and I've done another unit of 12 skeleton spearmen. So in episode, oh man, what was it, week 10 maybe, or 9? I'll put a note here if I go check back. I did a unit of 12 skeleton spearmen. This is my second unit, and it's the reason why they're in 12s is obviously so I can use them in Dragon Rampant, but also, you know, if I want to, say for example, use them in Oathmark, which has an Halfling list now, or Warlords of Erewhon, or whatever game system I want to use them in, I can combine them to make one big unit, you know, of 20, and have a couple of 4 extras, or 2 units in Dragon Rampant, or whatever the case may be. It gives me flexibility. These you can see are quite monoposed. I mean, I've got quite a few of the similar pose in here, because I think there's only 4 poses. You've got the spear pointing guy forward, and even though there are actually 2 types, like for example this one and this one are 2 different sculpts. So like this one's got gloves on and a shoulder pad, this one's barehanded, no shoulder pad, so a very subtle difference there. And then of course you got standing upright guy and standing upright guy. That guy's got a bearskin hat on, I don't know, and this one's got a helmet on. So you can see there's some variance in the sculpts. And then of course you got the command group. This one unit, it doesn't have a unit champion or musician, it's just a banner. And I've got another unit champion and musician, but unfortunately they're the exact same models as the previous one, so I didn't want to do the same model twice. So I'll look around, see if I can find a different model for the unit champion or whatever. And of course, if I combine them for a 20-man unit, say for example in Oathmark, I don't need 2 champions, 2 musicians, but I always need more banners in other units. So that was my thought process on that. So what have I got next for this? I've got a unit of archers, and then I think I've got all the bare bones of the army done, as I'll have 2 units of spearmen, a unit of cavalry, and a unit of ranged units, a couple of characters. So then I'll start adding some hopefully fantastical bits to it. Okay, so that's my Halfling Skeleton Undead army. What I've done, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so I bet you're wondering, what the hell is this? This is some sort of tram thing. I'll get to the explanation in a minute. Just thought I'd give you a 360 of what it looks like. So this is a 3D printout for a component for a board game that's coming to Kickstarter soon, I believe. It's made by Alleycat Games, and it's for a game sequence, like a follow-on game to their first game, which was Dice Hospital, something like that. Dice something. And this is Dice something else. Dice Theme Park or something like that. I can't remember the name. The name wasn't, I mean, they sent me a profile of the miniature and told me what they wanted. They wanted a fun, themed, interesting component to go with the game. This is a component that they might have upgraded in the Kickstarter, I think. And so it's got little dice at the back there, and you put dice in the top here, and it travels along the board or something like that. I don't know. So we did this. In fact, this was done completely by Carla, my partner, and I think she did a fantastic job on this. And I wanted to put it in here just to show you guys some of the stuff we work on. So we hand painted the dice on there, and made it, the sort of flow of colors going backwards like that. Some of the examples they showed us, were of that sort of nature, so we kind of stuck with that. But I thought it was cool. It's the kind of stuff we do here. When things come from the Kickstarter and they want it to look cool for the videos and the demos and stuff like that, they send us things like these to paint. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I wouldn't want to paint shitloads of them, but this one-off thing was cool. Anyway, that's Dice Theme Park, or whatever it's called. On to the next thing. Alright, so this is for the Song of Ice and Fire miniatures board game, whatever you want to call it. These are the Umber Berserkers, I believe. They're part of the starter box. This is the full unit of, what is this, 4, 8, 12, 13? 13? That seems odd. Yeah, this is the full unit that you get in the starter box. It comes with a unit champion, a banner bearer, and then 11 random dudes with two-handed axes, or two-handed axe in each hand, not two-handed axe. Anyway, so I don't know if you remember last week I painted John Umber, Big John Umber. This is from his clan, and I was saying about how that these Umber Berserkers must be family of his or something, because they look super similar. I mean, even though there are subtle differences in the faces and stuff like that, it's like, wow, they are super similar. It's just funny. Painting them through. It doesn't help that I have a tendency to I like to paint things consistently. So all these dudes have a like a red tabard, and have a bluish white cloak at the back. I'm a sucker for consistency. I like things to all look symmetrical. Even though I've tried to mix it up a bit, like some of their cloaks, like this one's got a black one, a grey one, a brown one, a tan one, a green one. So I have mixed in those type of things, but for the most part, all the dudes have a very similar look. I was thinking about this when I was painting this, and obviously this Game of Thrones is a massive, I love the lore and stuff like that, and I've binged watched the TV show over and over, and I'm going to be doing some miniature gaming in Westeros for myself. So miniature wise, I'll be collecting different factions, and I've been thinking about these are not bad miniatures. I'm not saying they're bad miniatures in any way, shape or form. They're nicely sculpted, detailed, and easy to paint. They're nice miniatures. There's like 3 poses, I think. You got this guy with the axe up, you got this guy with 2 axes forward, and then this guy with, I don't know, sort of a slightly different pose to this axe. And then the beards and hair, they're true barbarian-y looking guys. So I was thinking I could make these, I think, with the Fireforge Northern kit, so the Starks from Fireforge, but also the Frostgrave Barbarian kit. A little bit of mix and match, and you can make these guys, I'm pretty sure. The only thing of course you won't be able to make is the banner, which has the big Umber Giant on it, and of course the characters like Big John Umber. I mean, you can make them, it's just, I don't know. So it's a sort of a combination thing of I might look to mismatch my own figures from these, and then pick up the character figures wherever I can. That's what I'm thinking about at the moment. Although I do have Lannisters from this Darksword miniatures, which I'll be painting up in the near future. These are of course not mine. These are for the Kaiser. And I'm now down to just the last 4 Outriders from that starter box, and then I've painted everything in the box. I'll do a showcase video once it's all done, and I'll do a separate video showing you how the forces look all together. But I'm pretty happy with how they came out so far. They look really good as a unit, and as an army, and I'm looking forward to actually getting to do some gaming in the Westeros world. As it is, this is all I have for this week. I say this all, I mean, it's 13 dudes over here, there's another 13 skeleton dudes, and then the tram, so there's over 20, 30 figures this week. And of course, that's not counting some of the other stuff I have done that I haven't quite finished off yet. I've done a couple of, well, you'll see next week, as I'll have them finished for then. But that's all for this week. Signing off. See you guys on the battlefield. Laters.